Yo, it's official. Like a referee with a whistle. Yeah. Like, share the video and all that good stuff, man. And we gonna do like we always do. We gonna talk that talk and we gonna find a way to walk that walk. Yeah, you dig, you know? So yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in this world that we live in. But hey, it's good to focus on what we can control. Don't worry about things that we can't control. At least that's how I do it. And I would highly recommend you do the same thing, you know. And some stuff might not be your business. Some stuff ain't got nothing to do with you. If it ain't got nothing to do with you, leave it alone, you know? So, that being said, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I love music. You know, I mean, hip hop music, not rap music, but hip hop music. There's a difference. And I would say I'm the definition of what hip hop, radio, majority of songs that they play, it's either pop or rap music. The hip hop music or the hip hop artists, you usually have to search for on the internet or go to their shows or whatever. That's where we at today. But within everything, hip hop is really a culture. It's really a lifestyle that most people don't really understand. And it really started out with people that didn't have a voice, at least in mainstream society, really. And it kind of evolved and it kind of took off around the world. You got the way you dress, the way you talk, the rhymes, lyrics, breakdancing, graffiti, all that's hip hop, man. I mean, your whole way of life, the swag, all that shit is hip hop, man. It's a complete lifestyle. The only people that really understand it is us, black people, for the most part. Yeah, there's other groups of people that they like what they like. They like certain aspects of what the hip hop lifestyle is really all about. But for the most part, most people usually take the worst, I would say the worst pieces of what hip hop music is all about, and the culture is really all about. And I remember when I first went to Japan, and before I went to Japan, I didn't really know what to expect. I thought Japan was kind of like behind times, kind of like old school, kind of like wasn't modern, kind of like I didn't really know what to expect before I went to Japan. But when I went to Japan, I realized that Japan has a big hip hop culture, like really big. That really surprised me when I first went to Japan, because through, like I said, I grew up on hip hop music. I went to all the shows in my area when I was a teenager, from the age of 15 and up. As soon as I got my license, I seen Nas, Biggie, Mobb Deep. Um, who else, man? Uh, the Diamond D in concert. I've seen a lot of people in concert. Even some singers. Keith Sweat, um, Belle Biv DeVoe. I've seen a lot of people in concert. Tony Braxton. I can go on and on and on. You know, but I saw a lot of people when I was young, and still to this day. So I thought when I went overseas, I wasn't going to be able to do that, but I was wrong, you know. And I think the first person I saw when I was in Japan was Kid Capri. You know, Kid, because I seen Kid Capri in North Carolina once, and then I ended up seeing him in Japan. You know, so I thought that was cool. You know, and I realized that not only do Japan have a big hip hop scene, but they also have their own way of dressing too. They have their own way of dressing. They embrace hip hop culture, most of the younger people for the most part. And then you have some people that you have rappers over there, DJs. I remember I met this producer slash DJ named DJ Honda over in Japan. And DJ Honda used to come over here a lot when I was actually in Japan. He used to come over here. He might have lived over here for a short period of time. I'm not sure. But DJ Honda was a well-known producer slash DJ in Japan and even over here in the States during the 90s for the most part. And, you know, so I used to see, you know, a lot of rap groups like the Alcoholics, King T, um, uh, who else, man? It was quite a few rappers that came over when I was in Japan. And along with that came the women. You know, there's some women that, you know, they embrace the hip hop culture as well. And so a lot of people would ask, well, ask me questions like what I think about a lot of the girls that break dance. That's maybe they're a rapper or singer or whatever, or maybe they are embracing hip hop culture, even overseas. And you know, I'm gonna say most girls that I've met, maybe they're a rapper or a singer, or maybe they live the hip hop lifestyle or whatever. I would say, if I really look at it today, majority of the girls I've met kind of they're kind of out there. You know, they belong to the streets. Yeah, I would say most of the girls that I met that embrace the hip hop culture, they're not really they're unfit for marriage. I would say most of them. You know, now there's always a small group of women that are fit for marriage. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of women that used to be rappers back in the day. Oh, I guess some of them are still rapping to this day or whatever. A lot of women that used to rap in the 70s and 80s and 90s, some of these women got married. A lot of these women got married. A lot of these women that were break dancers, that were in the even the ones that were in the music business. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them women got married and they have kids, and you know, sometimes their kids will become some type of entertainer or or get in the music business or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, but it's I love I just love music. You know, I don't love all music, but the music that I grew up on, I love it. You know, I love everything about hip hop. Everything, you name it. I even like the 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 dressing. I like the sneakers. I like because I got it's a certain way of dressing. I love all that shit, man. And I don't think it's ever gonna change. It's to me it's a lifestyle. It's not just getting a record deal. Getting a record deal was that's the rap, that's the music business. That's not the hip hop business. That's the music business. That's corporate. It's like today you have a lot of people online that are just straight up lying, talking about, oh, we were the first to do this, we were the first to do that, or whatever. But I remember when I was growing up, people, these other groups of people that claim they like rap music or hip hop today, these people hated hip hop music back in the day. I remember when I was growing up, there was a time where you didn't tell nobody that you like hip hop music because they would give you like a lecture or you would get a bad response in most cases. When I was growing up, yeah, I mean, it ain't like it is today. If you tell somebody you like Drake or you like Lil Wayne or T.I. or some shit like that, they'll be like, oh, okay, that's cool, whatever, and they'll just keep it moving. But like in the 90s, in the 80s and 90s, if you told someone you like LL Cool J, they would look at you kind of sideways. They're like, you like that rap shit? You like that? Well, they didn't say rap shit. They said, you like that kind of music or whatever? You like the Ghetto Boys? That type shit. So you get like a negative response. And these other groups of people, they hated that shit. I mean, there's a lot of black people that disliked it. But these other groups of people, they hated that shit. They would look down upon you if they found out that you were listening to the Ghetto Boys, Nas or any of these rappers or rap groups back in the day. But today, a lot of these people still hate. They hate rap music, and it's mainstream. And a lot of people are lying, saying because they celebrated the 50-year anniversary and all that bullshit a couple weeks ago. But that's some corporate shit. That ain't got nothing to do with you, and that ain't got nothing to do with me, really. It really don't got nothing to do with the artists today from back in the day, and even today, people it's a money grab, and a lot of people feel a certain type of way about it, especially a lot of rappers from back in the day. But I like I like uh, wherever I go, I actually look for people that like hip hop music. Wherever I go at, out of town or in another country or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my that's my those are my peoples. That's how I look at it. Man or woman. I just like the swag. Because most women that embrace hip hop music or live the hip hop lifestyle, they have charm and charisma. And that shit can sometimes be addictive at times. It can be. It can be. And it doesn't matter what country or what language the the girl speaks. I remember the crazy thing is I went to a concert, um, and Kid Capri was there, right? And if you know anything about Japan, most people, I think Japan is like it's a first world country where um, most people don't speak English. Most people don't speak English in Japan. I think Japan has the most people where they don't speak English, you know. But the crazy thing is, in the concert, damn near everybody know the words in English. That's the crazy thing. That's the craziest shit ever. You know, it's like a rapper on stage can put the mic to somebody's mouth in the crowd, and they'll say word for word of the lyrics in the song. But at the same time, they can't speak English. That's the craziest shit ever. You know, you have to see that shit, you know, it's wild. You know what I'm saying? It's wild, man. But, you know, but music is one of those things where it'll bring people together from all over the world, regardless of the race, nationality, culture, language, regardless of all those barriers. Sex, and music and sex will bring, and parties. Music, sex, and parties will bring people together. Yeah, that's usually how it go. And the crazy thing is, when it comes to music, just across the board, wherever there's music, there's always going to be sex and drugs. This is just worldwide too. This is not just a North American thing. Wherever there's music playing at, there's always going to be an element of sex and drugs. That's usually how it go. You know, that's usually, I don't know why it's like that, but that's usually how it is. You know, that's usually how it is. And I've been around the world. Everywhere I've been, there's an element of sex and drugs there if there's music being played there. This is why in the music business, there's so much sex and drugs sexing and drugs going on. You know, and a lot of unfortunately, a lot of people get turned out with the drugs. That's like the dark side of music. You know, unfortunately, a lot of people are predators, and they'll prey on the weak. And some people will get taken advantage of. Could be a man and a woman. It don't even matter. Because it's been a lot, not a lot of people talking about it, but some people have talked about it, where when it comes to them getting a deal, they got a bribe with cars, you know, or and women. They'll get them to do almost anything to sign for them to sign that contract. So they'll give you a woman for a couple of days and give you a car. You know, it used to be a Range Rover. They would give you a Range Rover and an Asian broad for the night. that's usually how that's usually how it go. At one point, it used to be a Cadillac and a white woman, but now it's an Asian broad and the Range Rover. You know, last I checked. And then any type of drugs you want, weed or whatever you want or whatever. And you know, you don't necessarily have to take the drugs. Use them. They'll put it in your drink. That happens a lot too. They'll put the drugs in your drink. You won't even be paying attention. Because you be having such a good time, you get caught up in the girls and all that shit, and they'll slip a Mickey in your drink, and you be out of it. And then you probably more than likely you end up signing the damn papers that they wanted you to sign. Because hell, you don't know what's going on anyway. You know, that type of shit. That scenario happens. It's not uncommon for that scenario to happen, where a lot of guys get caught up in the girls, and you know they're not minding their business. Guys and gals, women get turned out too in the music business. They get turned out. You know, and like I say, where there's music being played, there's always an element of sex and drugs. That's just what it is. You know, just like going to a nightclub. Going to a nightclub is a cesspool. The nightclub's a cesspool. It ain't. That's all it is. You shouldn't be going to the nightclub trying to find a wife. A nightclub is just have a good time and get up out of there. You know, that's it. There ain't too much difference between a strip club and a nightclub. About the only difference is at the nightclub they got clothes on. You know, in the strip club they're just more open and honest about it. What's really going on? That's the only difference. And they got more clothes on. I mean, other than that, it's really the same type of shit going on. You got guys want sex and women want money. And some women want sex too, just like the dudes at the damn clubs. So it just uh, depends on who you are. That's where it's gonna determine your level of experience in the nightclubs. But you shouldn't go there looking for a wife or looking for a good girl or some shit like that. You should just go there to have a good time. That's about it. You know, there ain't too much positive that can come out of there. Now, every once in a while, you might meet someone that's decent, but for the most part, that ain't the case. Yeah, that ain't the case for the most part. Yeah, but the nightclubs can be fun. I have to admit to it. Because in the nightclubs, they play a lot of music that I like. They play a lot of music that I like. They play a lot of hip hop music. They play the old stuff and they play the new stuff. And plus, a lot of nightclubs, they pander and cater to a certain age group. You might go to one oldies club, or you might go to one of the clubs that's panders and caters to people that's in their 20s and 30s. But both of these spots, these clubs, they're going to be playing rap music or pop music. That's guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? That's usually how that go. But it's the same old shit though. It's a cesspool. Women want sex and money, and guys want sex. That's what it is. You know. But you're gonna have some good looking women in there. Oh, they're gonna be dressed very nice in the nightclub. You know. That might that might be the best you might see her looking at nighttime. Now during the daytime, shit, she might be looking a little bit different during the daytime. It's kind of like when you go to if you meet a bitch at the club and you take her home or you go home with her. Let's say you go home with her. If you go home with her and you wake up with her, you be like, God damn, shit, you don't look as good as I thought you did. Because once you take that makeup off and take that damn extension out, a wig off, you're a different looking broad. God damn. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she might have a nice body. You know what I'm saying? Big butt, small waist, pretty face. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of deal. Hey, I like it too. I like Megan Thee Stallion. I like how Megan Thee Stallion looks. I do. We all do, for the most part, whether we care to admit it or not. You know what I'm saying? Those are the women that they have on the mainstream platforms today. They don't have Claire Huxtable on mainstream platforms no more. They don't have the Felicia Rashads on mainstream platforms anymore. Those days are over. They got Sexy Red and her little ashy ass on the damn on these platforms today, and they got that girl Suki with the good coochie. They got her on these platforms today. They giving them all a shine. They giving all the hood rats shine today. They're not giving the Felicia Rashads shine today, and that's by design. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna meet the Sexy Reds and the Suki with the good coochie when you go to the nightclubs. Those are the majority of women in the nightclubs today. And most of them are easy. That's easy smash. But a lot of them are headaches. They're not really worth taking them home, really. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them are, they have a entitlement attitude like, hey, I just bust down for you last night or whatever. And for whatever reason, you supposed to do whatever she wants because she put out last night. It's that type of shit. So let me tell you what usually happens with these Sexy Red types that you meet at the club. You'll hit it, and let's say you met her Saturday night. By the end of the week, the following week, this broad is going to call you and ask you for some type of favor. You know what I'm saying? It might not even be the following week, but it's going to come a time where she's going to ask you for a favor. And if you say no, she's going to have an attitude. She's going to feel a certain type of way about that. And then more than likely, she won't fuck with you no more. That's usually how it go. You know? Now, if she calls you and you do whatever she wants, oh yeah, she'll keep you on the side. Then she might even come over to your spot, or she might tell you to come back over her spot, and you might be able to bust it open again. That's usually how it go. And ask me how I know, because I've had this experience quite a few times with a lot of these chicks at the nightclubs. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something about a lot of these chicks you meet at the nightclub. The better she dresses, the broker she is. That's right. The better she dresses, the broker she is. That's usually how it go. And what might surprise you is if you end up going to her house, it might be nasty over there. I'm talking like filthy type nasty. I'm talking like project type nasty. It's going to be nasty like that. Clothes all over the goddamn place. She might have kids. You know what I'm saying? They running all over the place with the damn babysitter. And you probably didn't even know she had kids until you was like damn near on the way back to her house, some shit like that. Until y'all was about to leave. Or you might have found out when you got to her house she got kids. Ain't no telling. But her damn spot, 9 times out of 10, is gonna be nasty. I'm talking nasty like you never seen. Shit all over the place. But she clean though. She got on a nice tight ass dress, nice legs, nice lips, hair done, nail done, lipstick, red, she got on all. I mean, she's clean from head to toe. The ass is right, tits is right, everything. Nails is right. But her apartment, her house is nasty as fuck. And you know what? You ain't leaving. It doesn't matter how nasty her spot is. You ain't gonna leave. You know why you ain't gonna leave? Cause you'd be like, God damn, she's fine as fuck. And I can't leave now. I gotta make the best of this situation. Even though I know this bitch nasty as fuck. And 9 times out of 10, you probably won't come back over there. Depending on her level of nastiness. You know what I'm saying? Because if it being nasty is one thing, shit all over the place, clothes is one thing. You might even see some food all over the place. But let me tell you what's worse than being messy and nasty. If it smells in there, if it smells like shit in her spot, plus shit all over the place, but she smells good, you be like, oh, God damn, give me a break. How the hell can a good-looking woman like this have such a nasty-ass apartment, a nasty-ass house? You know why? Because that's her mentality. She's a messy-minded woman. She's mentally all over the place. She's mentally unstable. And 9 times out of 10, she made some bad decisions in life. That didn't happen overnight. She had a couple kids. She just kept keep hanging out with bad company. She picks the wrong guys. She got pregnant, by the wrong guys. And she might end up in the projects or ended up on Section 8 or some shit like that. And now this broad is stuck, Or if she's probably working a job, but the job don't really pay shit. She can't really depend on the job. You know what I'm saying? She'll work the job and still gotta have financial assistance. So she'll live in in the projects or some type of Section 8 housing. It don't necessarily gotta be projects, but she might live in a house where the government is paying for that motherfucker every month because she ain't really making enough money on her job to cover all the bills. You know what I'm saying? But in your mind, you'd be like, damn, this bitch is fine as fuck. I just want to hit it at least once or whatever. And then you hit it once and it'll be really good. And then on your way back home, a couple of days might go by and you thinking about going back over there the second time because that shit was good. And keep in mind, you were only supposed to do it one time now after you left her nasty ass house. But you don't have no discipline. And you shouldn't been over there in the first place. You should have left once you found out how nasty she was. But like I said, you don't have no discipline. Because you like, oh, she looks so good, man. She looks so fine and shit. We have so much in common. She's a good dancer and she smelled good. She looked good, but she got them bastard ass kids, and you ain't really in no position to be taking care of no kids. You're not even thinking about being with her in a relationship with her. even though that's a long shot. Only thing you thinking about is having a good time with this broad. That's the only thing you thinking about. You know, and that's okay. You know, as long as you don't like string her along too long. You know what I'm saying? Because if you string her along, she's gonna think that she got a chance to be in a relationship with you. That's what she's gonna think, and that's a mistake. Because 9 times out of 10, this broad is damaged. She done made so many bad decisions in life, and 9 times out of 10, if you're a decent guy, she's gonna be trying to prey on you and take advantage of you. So if she feels like she can prey on you and taking advantage of you, she probably will, because in her mind you're a come up to her, because she knows that she done blew it with all those other guys, even though she might have had one of those guys she might have had a baby with is decent. You know what I'm saying? Like she'll put the guy that really likes her, she'll put him on child support, and the guys that are deadbeats, she won't put them on child support. You know what I'm saying? And you know why? Because the guys that she won't put on, the reason why she won't put the guys on, the deadbeats on child support, because she know they'll do something. They'll do something to her, like physically. You know what I'm saying? But the guy that's decent, she'll prey on him because she look at him like, oh, he's weak or whatever. And especially if if she gets the feeling like he don't want to fuck with her like that, or he want to get her, or maybe he not interested. Maybe he changed his mind because he figured out that, she just ain't she ain't really the type of girl that he wants. At least that's what now he might have thought something else in the beginning. He might have thought that, hey, maybe I can accept her kids. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can learn to accept the kids based on just her as a woman. But as time go on, he realized that I can't be with this bitch. She got too many bad habits. Plus, she got kids that ain't mine, and I can't take care of her kids knowing that it ain't mine. Because there's some guys, and I'm one of these guys too. I won't be able to give to someone else kids like I would do if it was my blood. It's just different. You know what I'm saying? Now there's some guys that can. There's some guys that treat everybody, all the kids the same. I don't think I would be able to do that, to be honest. So that's why I always say I would never even date a woman with kids, because I know it ain't going nowhere. I know it ain't gonna go nowhere. So I wouldn't even string a woman along to make her think that she have a chance to anything even seriously happen in a long-term relationship. I wouldn't even date a woman like that today. I wouldn't even engage in a conversation with a woman like that today, because I don't want her to think that, hey, there's a possibility that something could pop off. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't even entertain it. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be a lot of women like this in the nightclubs. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, wherever there's music playing, there's always going to be a certain level of drugs and alcohol and sex. And you're going to have some of the baddest women in these nightclubs, boy. You're going to be like, God damn, this motherfucker fine as hell. But like I said, but the better she dressed, the broker she is. She might be clean from head to toe. nails done, feet done, hair done. I mean, everything gonna be uh, like perfect, damn near. Yeah, everything gonna fit just right. All her from her dress, whatever she got on, jewelry, she'll have everything down just right, neat and sweet. She'll have big butt, small waist, pretty face, everything just right. But 9 times out of 10, when you go back home with her, you're gonna be like, God damn, this is a nasty bitch, boy. And or hopefully you don't meet one of them cases where I never had one like this, but hopefully you don't meet one of these women in the nightclub that look real good. She's very attractive. She smell good, look good on the outside, but the inside, this bitch is rotten. The inside, she smell like fish when she take her pants off or when she take her panties off. You'd be like, oh God. Hopefully you don't find one of those. I never ran into one of those, but I've heard about it. When the girl took her pants off, the room smelled like she had a yeast infection. I heard about it. I heard about it, but it's not a good experience. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good experience, man. And any woman can get a yeast infection. By the way, it's not really a big deal, but how do you know you don't have a yeast infection if you're a woman? You can't smell yourself? I don't understand that shit. How do you invite a guy in your bed and how do you not know you don't smell right or you don't smell good? I don't understand that shit. I don't get it. Maybe you can enlighten me, but I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? But this is the type of shit that happens, man. And then you got groupies too. You got a lot of rappers and entertainers have groupies, and a lot of these girls that's into hip hop music, they follow these guys. They keep up with these guys, and social media has made it easy for people to follow people today. These guys show up at the nightclub or at the party or events. You have women that show up to they trying to get up with these dudes. They trying to hit. So I'm all so any woman that's that embrace hip hop culture, especially if she's from another country. I'd be like, I'm always curious to hear what kind of activity she gotten into. Because I've seen how a lot of these women act once they're in the presence of some of these rappers and entertainers. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like girls that are groupies for the athletes. I know what happens when the athletes get with a lot of these girls in college. And even after college, when they go to the NBA or go to the NFL, I know what happens behind the scenes. I've seen it. I've been around it. So when it comes to these entertainers, it ain't no different. It's probably about the same. In most cases, just depends on the status of the guy or gal. And yet today you got guy groupies too. You got guys are groupies too today. You have guys that if whatever the woman say, a lot of these guys act like women. A lot of these guys will go down on the woman if she said so. Yeah, a lot of just like the girls go down on the guys, you have guys that'll go down on the women too, just like that. That are celebrities on the celebrities. Yeah, yeah, you have guys are groupies today too. The times change. I remember when I grew up, it wasn't no such thing as a guy groupie, but today it is. You know, because a lot of guys are acting like women because they've been raised by women. They don't know no better. So yeah, that's the world that we live in today. But just like I said, hip hop culture, it's not it's worldwide at this point, and a lot of people listen to rap music or whatever, but everybody doesn't listen to rap music, and a lot of people don't embrace hip hop culture. A lot of people don't like hip hop music, just like a lot of people don't like rap music. But there's somebody in their family that does. I can guarantee that. You know what I'm saying? I can guarantee that. But, you know, I'm like I said, I'm the definition of what hip hop is. I love hip hop. I love the lifestyle. I love the culture. And with everything, there are pros and cons. There's good and bad, positive and negative or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But hip hop has saved probably more people and created more opportunities for more people probably than any other culture or environment that I can think of. And a lot of hip hop culture was I guess inspired or started by people that were 5%ers back in the day. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of times it was more of a discipline than anything. That's how pretty much how it got started. You know, you know. But just rapping, like I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna end this video. Like there's a lot of people in New York said people started rapping in New York or whatever. No, let me tell you something. My dad had these big ass 8-track tapes, and he grew up with these tapes, and these guys were rapping in the 30s over jazz beats and kind of like up tempo beats. So you had a lot of these guys they were rapping in the 20s and 30s. My dad had these big ass 8-track tapes of people rapping. So maybe they started rapping in South Carolina. I don't know, because that's where I'm from, and that's where my dad is from. So these people started rapping way before New York. Way before New York. So you have the reason why I said that because there's a lot of people. They make it seem like people started rapping in the Bronx. No, no. What it is those people that are saying that they're trying to co-op and create opportunities for themselves. That's all they're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what the 50-year anniversary of hip hop was all about. You have people that are just trying to co-op and create opportunities for themselves. They don't really care about a lot of the people that took hip hop to the next level. Like DJ Hollywood and like Melly Mel, and they don't really care about all the older guys and like Chirac and women. that, came out in the 60s and 70s. They don't really care about nothing they don't care nothing about none of that shit. They just want to make money. But that's corporate shit. That's corporate. That's all that is. That ain't hip hop though. That's the music business. That's rap music. Like I said, there's a difference between rap music and hip hop music. Rap music, that's corporate. Like rap music is getting a record deal and getting your music distributed across the world and all that shit. That's the music business. That's rap music. Rappers is like on TV basically. They're on TV, they're on the radio. Those are rappers. Most of these guys and gals are not hip hop artists. It's like they don't understand anything. Most of these people don't understand anything about what hip hop is all about today. And another thing, most of these people are foreigners that's on the radio, that's on TV today. They're not even Black American. They're from someplace else. Either they came from someplace else or they might live someplace else. Either or. But they don't know anything about the hip hop lifestyle. They might say they do, but they really don't. Because they're not of the culture. They're just in the culture. That's all. You know what I'm saying? So this is pretty much all I wanted to talk about. You know what I'm saying? I didn't plan on being on here that long. I've actually I planned on being on here for 30 minutes, really, but I went for what? It's 53 minutes now, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? But hey, share this video. Tell me what you think below. Until next time, I'm out.
Alright. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then I saw the sky and that I like.